Hi, thanks, Rounak, for joining Pagal Guy. We're really excited to have you on board to understand your journey of how you aced CAT and also to understand what future plans you have for you. Yeah. So to begin with, this is a very cliche questions, but could you help us with a little bit about your background, specifically in terms of education and in terms of your work that you did, before considering CAT?
Sure. So, hi, myself Rounak. I belong to Begusarai, Bihar. Most of my schooling happened in Bihar itself. So, initially in class 10th, I studied from Vidya Vihar Residential School in Purnia. There, basically, I had 10 CGPA, which is equivalent to 95%. Then, for 12th, I studied from Muzaffarpur Sunshine School, and there I had 93.4 percentage. And for graduation, I went to IIT Delhi. I studied chemical engineering over there, but chemical engineering did not really interest me so much, so I explored other fields. I went into machine learning, software development, and gradually, at IIT Delhi, my CGPA was 8.7 while I graduated. And after my graduation, I worked with Zomato for 1.5 years. There, basically, my work was in the machine learning team as a software engineer and initially as a product analyst also. After my stint at Zomato, I decided to go for CAT. So I appeared for CAT in 2022 also, but then it did not really work out for me because I gave it without any preparation. So I again prepared for CAT. This time I left my job already, so I was full time preparing for CAT. And at the same time, I worked with my father in my family business. I reappeared for CAT in 2023, and this time I was able to do good. I scored a 99.9, and yeah, I have had interviews with all the major IIMs and looking forward to my B school journey. Yeah.
Perfect. You mentioned that you worked with the corporate world and then you pursued engineering as your career. This thing. Along with that, what made you motivated towards considering an MBA degree and then further going across for CAT?
Right. So one of the major motivations came from while I was working at Zomato. So I got to interact with a lot of people who were product managers as well as people who were from already from IIMs and top B schools. So interacting with those people, I realized there is something of an business acumen which one needs to have while solving a problem. So I realized that my approach towards any specific problem was very much tech oriented, and it in itself it was not self-sufficient of an approach itself. So I gradually realized instead of going through a lot of hit and trials after, considering the opinion of the superior people, I could maybe reach to the solution if I had a wider dimension. So I gradually realized that okay, an MBA might be a worthy thing to go for because it might add a certain dimension to my already tech oriented approach. So that is how I went about going for an MBA. And then basically when I worked on with my family business with my father, so the on ground reality of how a business works, it also opened my mind as such that okay, there are a few things that I might need to cover, and there were a knowledge gaps which I needed to fill. So they basically motivated me more to pursue the course as such. So that is how I went about it.
Got it. So, Ronak, speaking about your preparation journey, specifically for CAT, how did you go about approaching or coming up with a plan of how to approach the preparation, how to maybe incorporate mock tests? Did you help? Did you take help from any particular resource that was available out there in order to help you with this journey?
Right. So I started my preparation in May 2023 for the 2023 attempt. So basically, my aim was clear. I was supposed to complete my syllabus in a span of 2 months, which is not very difficult, given the syllabus itself is not so vast. It is relatively simple. If you devote enough time, it is quite doable in 2 months. So my approach was to complete and cover the syllabus in the given 2 months, May and June. And by July, I started giving mocks. My funda was simple: one day, one mock, one analysis. So every day I used to give one mock, and every day I used to analyze one mock. So in total, I gave some 110 mocks, which is not really recommended. But then, yeah, since I was giving one mock every day and I had time with me, so that is how I went about it. Coming to the resources I used, so for VARC, I particularly like the course VARC 1000. For DILR, I preferred YouTube playlists of iQuanta, Elite Grid, and for Quant, Rodha ka playlist was also good enough. Apart from that, I highly recommend solving previous year questions for DILR and Quant. VRC also it is recommended. If you are going for VRC 1000, there itself they make you solve previous year questions only. So reading practice is a very important thing for VRC. That is something which one should start with, and then gradually you should go about solving RCs every day. For DILR again, solving basic sets without seeing the solution is the key, and then by mocks and sectionals you will learn the key art of set selection. That is really important, and that is what one learns only after giving a lot of mocks. And through quant, one major thing that you need to learn how to pick the lower hanging fruits. So you need to learn how to skim through the paper and not to skip any easy question. So that should be the strategy for quant, I would say. So this was the whole method that I applied.
Got it. You mentioned that you were, also contributing to your family business while you were preparing for CAT, which could be a kind of challenging because time management comes into the picture, and which makes it very, very important for you to get hold of the time. How did you manage that? And do you have any advice for students who are currently working and also preparing for CAT? How should they go about with it?
So see, since basically it was not a full-time opportunity, neither I had some, you would say, I mean, I was not supposed to work on a specific time or anything like that. Like, for example, if a working professional is there, then they are supposed to spend a certain amount of time of their day doing their job. So in that case would be a bit different from my case. In my case, I did it as per my suitability, as per I got the time. So basically for me, it was like I would prioritize my preparation first, and as and when I got the time, I used to visit the shop and help my father and stuff. It was more like from January to May I worked like properly, but then I switched to preparation, and then it was leisure way of keeping myself. So basically, I would suggest for any working professional, I would highly recommend that you utilize your weekends very well. And on weekdays, I would recommend try to at least take out 1, or I would say 2 hours at least for preparation, wherein you should be devoting time to at least 1 or 2 sections per day, and try to at least cover the syllabus during weekdays, and on weekends try to do sectionals and mocks. So weekends you would have to spend some more time, but on weekdays you should be at least trying to take out 1 or 2 hours a day, I would say. So that is how one should go about it.
Got it. You also mentioned mock test really played a very important role in your preparation journey. How would you recommend somebody should approach the analysis part of the mock test that they're giving? What are the key elements that you focused on, and how did you go about improving those?
So one of the most important things that I feel in mock analysis is trying to identify, like trying to resolve every question. So basically what I used to do is that I used to take the paper. This time while doing analysis, I did not have really any sort of timer running over my head. So I had ample amount of time. So what I would do is that I would resolve each and every question, and the questions I missed or the questions I did wrong, I would try to identify the gaps that I had. I mean, for example, let's say in a DLR section, let's say if I made a blunder and I messed up a whole set, then I would resolve the set and I would try to identify where exactly I messed up and how could have been avoided. Apart from that, the sets that I left, that is something which I would do here again, and I would again, like for example, let's say if I am taking more time to solve, then I would try to identify that what were the possible things that I could have done so that I could have taken less time. Same goes for quant also. So in quant, basically for every question, ideal time should be 2 minutes or less. So if you're spending more than 2 minutes, then you need to identify where exactly you are going wrong. So in any question where I spend more than 2 minutes, I would again try to see what could be an optimal approach. Apart from that, for example, if in any question, let's say if I did something wrong, then again I would solve it. And the questions which I did right and within the time frame, those I would like basically just skip over because nothing better could be done there. So basic idea was to identify when you took a lot of time, how you could have avoided that, how you could have optimized it, where you did wrong, what went wrong, how could you have done better. And in VARC, basically try resolving and try to see that what you were thinking during the exam was how much different from when you are doing it right now, and how you could have went with a wrong answer or something like that. So basically identifying the gaps, trying to learn from your mistakes, and when you learn those mistakes, try to not repeat them in the next mock. Apart from that, one important thing that I would recommend is that So while analyzing, you would identify that there are certain things which you keep on missing continuously, irrespective of how many mocks you have given. So you should jot down those things in a diary or someplace, that okay, these are the particular areas or these are the particular formulas or things which I tend to miss out quite often. So that is something which would help you later in your revision. But yeah, that is something what I did during my preparation. So yeah.
Got it. So, Ronak, looking at your CAT scores, you are somebody who has definitely aced it. But though we understand that the outcome of it was exceptional, we also understand that you must have faced challenges. What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced specifically while you were going through the preparation phase?
I think this would be very much common to almost all the aspirant. Everyone who is preparing for CAT would have faced or will face this situation once in during their preparation. So when you give a lot of mocks, what happens is that there is a time when your score drops significantly and it plateaus at a lower score. Now, after like 4 or 5 mocks, 4 or 5 bad mocks where you have done lower than your potential, the confidence level goes down and demotivation strikes you hard. So at that point of time, it is really important to keep going because most of the people actually leave the preparation. So at that is the point when I would recommend one should be, dedicated enough and one should keep going. So you should just keep it in your mind that mocks are just tools to make you prepared for the real game. Do not take mock scores by your heart. They are just to get you ready. And once like you are giving mock, and even if you are doing bad, you should have it in your mind that okay, the next mock would be better, nothing could go more wrong than this. So you should, in every mock try to go with a positive outlook and try to improve yourself, and do not like get demotivated and leave the preparation as such, because eventually you will do good if you keep on going. So yeah.
Got it. Were there any moments of self doubt, and how did you deal with it?
Yeah, self doubt obviously would come at any point of time when you are like not doing really good as per your expectation. Like I said, like there were times when my scores dropped significantly in VARC specifically. So like initially I was scoring in the range of 20s and 30s, but by the mid journey I was scoring at some point of time even in single digits in VARC. So that really hit me that okay, something is wrong. I might not be able to clear the sectional if this goes on happening. So that is when basically self doubt strikes you that what if I may not clear it? What would happen if things go south? I mean, if what if I don't have a backup plan? Stuff like those. So at any point of time, what I would recommend is that to keep calm. Uh, do not isolate yourself. Keep your social life, physical life healthy, and try to eat good, sleep well, exercise and stuff. And these do not feel like really important, but then they are like subconsciously helping you in some way. So what I would recommend is that keep a healthy lifestyle, and whenever things go south, keep in your mind that no matter what the result is, the process in itself going to change me. So in some way it is going to benefit me. So no matter if I fail or if I pass, it is a win-win situation for me, because as a person I would have changed. So it really doesn't matter. All I need to focus is on trying to do best and trying to become the best version of myself in every part of life. So that is what I would recommend, that okay, even if things go bad, you just need to keep yourself in the game. You need to calm yourself and you need to keep going. Don't just stop, and trust yourself that okay, if it is happening with me, it must be happening with to a lot of people. So yeah, you're not alone.
Got it. So, whenever we look at a journey of a student, we see that, of course, the preparation requires a significant amount of effort, it requires significant amount of dedication. But along with that, you are also constantly competing with yourself as well, be it in terms of getting better mock scores or be it in terms of catching up with the syllabus and so on. Were there any times in your preparation journey where you felt that there was a breakdown, and how did you deal with that?
Right. So like I said, I mean, yeah, it generally happens with everyone. So the two instances that I gave was like lower mock scores, lower scores in VARC, and apart from that, there would be instances wherein you would see other people doing quite good. Like you would be part of various groups, you would be seeing mock scores of different people, and there would be instances where you would see your fellow peers doing quite well, and in the same mock maybe you may not have done so well. So at that point it feels that okay, something is wrong with myself or something is going bad. But then it is not really the case. For example, I mean, it really depends on circumstances and the situation in which you were during the exam. So it is highly, I would say, dependent on that. So basically, you have to accept the fact that it's not same situation for everyone, and everyone has their own way of approaching things. So you should always try to compete with yourself only. Never like try to outdo someone else, because the moment you try to compete with someone else it becomes a rat race, and at that point of time you certainly lose the whole point of the preparation itself. So I would recommend, try to be better version of yourself, like the last time what you were, and this time you try to improve by 1% every time. So that is something which would work better than comparing yourself with someone else. So if someone is doing good, good for them, you should be happy about them, but you should not like really compare with them. Rather you should compare with yourself that okay, in last mock I did like this, in this mock I'll improve. So something of that sort is I would say really helpful.
Got it. Looking back at your preparation journey, is there any element do you think that you should have done differently that would make it a bit better, a more pleasant experience for you?
Yeah, so I feel that, like I said, maintain a healthy life and stuff. So with me, what happened is that after leaving my job, I mean, I tried for another job. I went for it. I did not like it. I came back. So what happened with me is that I kind of felt isolated. I disconnected myself from social media. I did not talk to a lot of friends. So it was kind of I would say, a bad phase of my life wherein I was really struggling, and I was not sure that whether I'll be able to do things. So I feel that uh, at some point of time it is good also to go in that phase, but then it I would really recommend that do not isolate yourself, because what happens is that you kind of start to feel alone, and that is not really a healthy thing, because it might have certain repercussions in future. So rather I would recommend is that whenever you feel low, try to at least talk to a few friends or family who are close to you, and keep them in loop. Maintain a social life, even if it is limited, but do not completely isolate yourself. So that is something which I would like to change. That even during the lowest phases of my life, I would have wanted to have more social interaction with my friends and family, and not like isolated myself. So that is something which I felt was the least pleasant part of my journey.
Got it. So, Ranak, especially students get very worked up and very confused during the last month of the preparation phase. Do you have any recommendation for students or any advice for students on how they should approach the last month of the CAT prep?
So in the last month, one thing that I would recommend is that do not pick up anything new. Whatever you have done, just revise that. Keep on revising. And in the last month, do not keep yourself very much mock heavy. Keep it light. Have light food, light healthy life. And at the same time, I would recommend that in the last months, try giving previous year papers as mocks, because that would boost your confidence, because you have already done those questions. So, and getting scores in previous year papers as mocks would boost your confidence that okay, in the real paper I might do good. So try solving previous year papers as mock. And also do not like go too deep into studying and stuff. Keep it light, keep it simple, and do not pick up anything new. Just go on with the basics, keep revising, and like simple, keep it really simple in the last month.
Got it. That's great advice, Ronak. Thanks a lot for sharing that with our audience. Now that we know you have aced the CAT exam, the next step that comes across in the journey is the personal interview. How was your personal interview, and how many of them did you appear for, and which institution did you settle for?
Right. So I appeared for I got calls from all the major old IIMs, and apart from that, I mean, I got calls from SPJN, FMS, MDI, and yeah, these were the calls I got. So I appeared for interviews of Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, Lucknow, Kozhikode, Indore. I skipped, and also CAP interviews I went for. I appeared for SPJN and FMS too. MDI I did not go for because it was clashing in some way with Ahmedabad interview. So these were the interviews I had. Fortunately, I was able to clear all of them except Ahmedabad, and I'm going to join Bangalore in for my B school journey. And yeah, so my coming to my experiences, it is really varied experience. Like every interview was one of its kind. So for example, Ahmedabad interview was kind of an holistic interview which revolved around current affairs, around my hobby, around puzzles, situation based questions. And also, like, they asked me, you know, stuff related to, I mean, things happening in and around. And it was kind of very holistic interview. So, about my gap year and stuff. So, now coming to Bangalore interview, it was completely focused on my work experience and around like women empowerment. Like, for example, if women should be given periods leave or not and stuff like that. So Bangalore interview was completely revolving around my work ex, so it was kind of easier interview for me. And Calcutta interview was based on some random courses which I did during my college. So they picked up three random courses which did not even like belong to my stream or like my job, and they asked questions based out of it. But yeah, I was able to tackle it well. And again, Lucknow and Kozhikode were more of chill interview. They were quite fun around work ex, around business experience and stuff only. And SPJN was kind of a different sort of interview. It has like group interviews. So it was work ex also. It was like philosophical also. It was a mix of kind of thing. And CAP was really simple again. So these were the experiences that I had.
Got it. So you went through a lot of interviews and you got selected in one of the best institutions in the country right now as well. What, according to you, are business schools looking forward to in terms of judgment and in terms of qualities in a student when they make the students go through this interview?
I feel what they are actually looking for is, first of all, they are looking for your overall personality, as in how confident you are and how much truthful you are. For example, if you don't know something, just go ahead and say I don't know. I mean, so they look for conviction, confidence, clarity, and at the same time they are also looking for some sort of quality which might help their B school, I mean their class. In their class, how would you contribute? So is there something unique or good about you that would help their MBA class as such? And also they try to look for, if they take you in their B school, how likely you are to do good from their B school, be it in terms of placement, be it in terms of academics and stuff. So how likely you are to do good in their B school, that is something which they look for. And yeah, these are the basic criteria. So basically they really want someone who is clear, concise, and at the same time confident, and is able to convey their thoughts and opinions clearly, and someone who is actually going to contribute positively to their class. So that is what they look for.
Got it. Do you have any tips for the students who are currently going to appear for the interview sessions in the recent cycle? Any advice, any tips that they should keep in mind while approaching personal interview?
Yeah, so one advice would be to, I mean, I would say that go with preparation as such that you are confident enough. So there are certain five areas that one needs to cover. Current affairs. Apart from that, you need to cover your basic introduction about yourself, the basic HR questions, the knowledge about your hometown, your school, your college. You need to cover basic maths, your academics and stuff. And also, like, I would recommend covering your hobbies really well, knowing in and out about the things that you have done. And like, these are the major areas that are recommended one should do. And work experience also, if you have, try covering as much as possible about it. So the 4 or 5 areas that one needs to cover are these, and one should be confident in a way that they have covered these before the interview, so that while going for the interview you do not feel that okay, I am lacking somewhere. So this would really boost your confidence, and in the interview you will be able to answer things with clarity because you are confident from inside. So that is what I would recommend, that prepare well enough. Don't stress over it during CAT preparation. After CAT preparation there is enough time to prepare for these. It would hardly take a month or two to prepare. So do not stress over it right now. After your CAT preparation, I would recommend that you go about, making an Excel sheet of all these five major areas and cover as much as possible. And this would really help.
Got it. Thanks a lot, Ronak, for connecting with Pagal Guy and sharing this wonderful insights in your preparation journey. Before you leave us for this interview, one last question. You are about to join one of the most prestigious institutions in the country. Anything that you're excited about for this 2 year journey?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. So basically, I'm more excited about meeting the kind of folks that I'd get there. So I'm excited to, make some good friends over there. And coming from a college which itself had a very good alum base, like I was from IIT Delhi, there itself, I got to interact with a lot of like-minded people. So that is something which excites me more that, okay, going back to that life again, getting to meet with really intelligent people and making them friends, and then gradually, going out with that brand value, that excites me a lot. So yeah, that is the thing I'm looking forward to.
Perfect. That was wonderfully said. If I am Bangalore, ABCs are known for is the diverse cohort, and that is something that you would definitely any IIM alumni would cherish. So all the best for your journey, and thank you. Thanks a lot for connecting with Pagal Guy.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All the best to every aspirant. And yeah, thank you so much for the interview. It was really fun. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye.